Dolores. When I was 5 years old, I got hit by a car. My 13-year-old sister was walking me home from school on a rainy afternoon, and a young woman lost control of her car on the slippery street and slammed right into me, sending me flying about 60 feet. I landed on a patch of grass, which probably saved my life. The accident left me with 2 broken legs, a dislocated shoulder, nerve damage to my spine, cracked ribs, and a collapsed lung. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. My family visited every day, and the nurses took great care of me. Despite the trauma I'd been through, I felt safe. The only problem was my roommate, Dolores. She was about my age, maybe a bit older. She had pale skin and curly dark pigtails, and she showed no external signs of illness or injury. I wish I could tell you more about her appearance, but it's all so long ago. Plus, I was constantly doped up on painkillers and God knows what else, so the experience was already pretty hazy. What I do remember is how, when we were alone, Dolores would come to my bedside and peer down at me, an evil smirk on her face. "Hey, Mariah. Go away, Dolores. Mariah. Stop it. Mariah. Shut up." Dolores would always laugh at my protests, before putting her lips to my ear and whispering nursery rhymes. Only they weren't the ones I'd learned as a toddler. They were dark, twisted, and incredibly fucked up. I can't remember them all, but to give you an idea, this was her rendition of "It's raining, it's pouring. It's raining, it's pouring. The old man is snoring. He put a bullet in his head. And never woke up in the morning." And that was one of the tamer ones. You're probably wondering why I never told anyone. Well, my 5-year-old logic told me that I'd get in trouble for knowing Dolores's twisted nursery rhymes. Plus, I was afraid of what she might do to me if she was found out. So I kept quiet and let her torment me until I was finally allowed to go home. Years passed, and my memories of Dolores began fading to gray. Still, I thought about her every now and then, and as I got older, I realized just how weird the situation truly was. Dolores never had any visitors. When she sang in my ear, her breath had been abnormally cold. She would often disappear for hours at a time without explanation. The creepiest part, however, was how she seemed to have a full set of adult teeth. It wasn't until last year that I got my answer. I was doing research for a college assignment, going through old newspaper records, when I found an article dating back to the year of my accident. The headline read "Nurse charged with attempted murder." Here's the short version. During my hospital stay, a nurse named Dolores Gilbert had begun working on the children's ward. Due to some weird genetic disorder, she had never grown taller than a 5-year-old, and looked pretty young for her age, though not as young as I remembered, going by the photos provided. Dolores was, by all accounts, a kind and caring person who was great with kids. Until she was found standing at the bedside of a sleeping child, humming "Rock-a-bye Baby" and brandishing a carving knife. Apparently, Dolores had snuck into my room wearing a hospital gown, posing as a patient. She lived on her own, so nobody noticed that she never left the hospital. When her shift began, she would change back into her uniform and go about her business as usual, and would also make herself scarce when I had visitors. Even on the days she wasn't working, she kept up her sick little act. Dolores was apparently so delusional that she didn't even notice I had left, another patient taking my place. She'd been planning to kill me all along, and to this day, the thought of her stabbing that poor kid to death makes me sick to my stomach. I couldn't believe I hadn't found out about this sooner. Since it had been so long, and Dolores had been apprehended, I knew there was no point in getting too upset over it. I moved on with my life. I go to school. I have a steady boyfriend and a great group of friends. Everything's okay. Recently, my sister had a beautiful baby girl, and she asked me to babysit her tonight. I readily agreed, but told my sister I wouldn't be singing the baby any nursery rhymes. Especially "Rock-a-bye Baby."